And we're rolling. Welcome to Be My Guest. I'm Erika Toraya, and I'm here with William, I'll call you Bill, Virchis. And he is our, can we see your eyes when you take off your glasses? Thank you.
Oh my God.
I know we like to see.
Oh my God.
Not only see you, but get to know
Look
you.
at this. I feel like going back to Tibet.
We woke him up from a nap.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got so many. My bags are full.
Bill is very, very well known in the community. Not just the community, the city, the state, the country.
In the universe and planet Pluto.
That as well. So I've known Bill since we did The Odd Couple and then a few other projects after that, and that was 3 years ago in San Diego. And right now, and you might see some interesting lights going, we are on the set, the theater here in downtown Los Angeles for The Pitch. And congratulations, Bill. This is our last episode, bless you, today at 2. And how are you feeling? How are you doing? How did you get here?
Well, there's a good news and bad news. You want the good news or the bad news?
Oh boy, I find out along with you.
Okay, the bad news is that it's over.
Yes.
The good news is it's over.
It's over. Yes. Very true.
Yeah, the theme song of our play was The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yes, okay.
So there was a lot of good, some bad.
Very little ugly.
But it was ugly. When you're ugly, it was ugly to the bone.
So a sense of humor obviously gets you through. What else? What would you say has gotten you through, not just this play?
A guy named Jerry Velasco has got me through. He adopted me as his long lunch. I was homeless, and then he got me on the streets of L.A. And
Jerry, come
he said,
be with us.
You know, Mr. Velasco is an incredible icon here in L.A.
He is.
You know, he started Nosotros, and in fact, he's going to come up here and join us because he's one of the guys.
Wow, this is awesome.
Okay.
Come sit here.
Come here.
You want to come back
Jerry,
here?
this is her channel. Channel, what is it?
It's my own channel.
Her own
YouTube.
channel on
It's called
YouTube.
Be My Guest. Is
Hi,
the
I'm
show.
Jerry. How
This
you
is Jerry
doing?
Velasco, and he is our producer. Without him, none of this would have happened.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And we
With
have.
all of them, we cannot.
That's
Well,
right. No,
we
that's
all need
true.
each other,
Yes, that's right.
definitely. So share with us a little bit of who you are and what this means for you.
Well, I'm Jerry Velasco. I met Bill many years ago, like 40 years ago or longer. And I met him with Ricardo Montalban. I was very close to Ricardo. I was his right-hand person. I worked with him. I was head of Nosotros. I was head of the theater group, Ricardo Montalban Foundation. I'm still involved. I'm the president emeritus. I went into politics. Now I'm the mayor pro tem for the city of El Monte, and I'm bringing the arts into El Monte, but I haven't forgotten where my roots are at, which is the arts, and to make sure that we follow what Bill's doing, which is in Teatro Máscara, is to train and improve and the image of Latinos in the entertainment industry and give kids and young and middle-aged people an opportunity to get their dreams to make it happen for them.
Yeah, this is a dream factory that we do, you know, and this is a surprise. This is a surprise for Jerry. He probably doesn't remember, but one of his first Eagle Awards was given to one of my colleagues, Jorge Huerta from UCSD, who started the company with me, and so you know it was really foreshadowing, wasn't it, of this to come.
Wow.
But the Nosotros Theater on what was the pen? On Wilson Street.
On Wilton.
On Wilton.
The small theater.
The small theater at the time, and in fact, it was very strange how the world goes around. When I did Salina, the tour of Salina, we closed it in Chicago, but they did another version at Nosotros.
Right.
They gave at the big theater. They gave them the theater. So everything's in there. It's a tapestry that's interwoven with a lot of coincidences.
Absolutely.
But this project, it was just a journey. It was an accidental journey because we were going to do another play, Jerry and I, and with his colleague and friend Mike Gomez, who's an incredible actor that you were in, you know, The Odd Couple.
Yes, and
we were
Mike
going to do
was
it.
on the show too.
Yeah, we were going to do it with you here.
Right.
You know, in
So
2
this
weeks
show
before.
was supposed to be The Odd Couple,
Right.
that we had done in San Diego,
Right.
but instead has become The Pitch.
And guess what? We're pitching it.
We're pitching it.
And I'll leave you guys here pitching it.
Okay,
Okay,
because I know
gotta go
you're
back to
on.
work.
Yes, thank you so much. What
See
a-
you guys
what a
later. Take
gift.
care.
Thank you. God, that's so awesome. So we got 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
So what have been the biggest challenges? Hi, Doug. And I'm sorry, your name again? I'm sorry? Cynthia. We're doing our show right now. So what would have been some of the biggest challenges, not just for this play, but for in your career that you have overcome, and how?
Wow, that's a big question. Well, there's always a challenge. Everything is a challenge, and every play's new. No matter how many plays you've done in the world, they're just new obstacles. Because every literally, it's not a cliche, but it's very true. It's like this channel that you have. Everything is new. But obstacles are thrown in your way just by coincidences, and one of the things that happens in this kind of business is you depend on the kindness of strangers. Nobody does this alone, and the cast they're the tools that make it drive, and the play, of course. The play's got to say something.
Right.
And we've done a lot of different kinds of shows,
Yeah.
and most of all, it's a training ground for us, And when you give the opportunity to do the whole thing, it's really important. I was just coming through L.A. and seeing all the how do I say it? All the homelessness, and here we are in a play that it's like children. We're playing it, and the serious issues out there.
Right.
And we're very lucky to come and have people see us act. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And be children again.
Right. To take them into another place.
A reality that
Yeah.
that needs to be done. By the way,
Right.
Life theater has always been a place, and we've always talked about this place being in a temple kind of thing, in a ritual kind of thing, where it's a belief system, and it's a strong belief system that there's an old saying in theater, it's a suspension of disbelief. Well, you have to have faith, and I think faith for me has been driving me through all my life. My mother was an indigenous woman raised in a convent, and she was a person of such great faith that no matter what we had one thing in common, and I think the theater was like that for me. With all the obstacles that are thrown at you, no journey is worth anything without a little sacrifice.
Absolutely.
What was an easy journey taken is an easy journey lost. So there's a lot of challenges. I've always I have never really enjoyed this. I mean, I've enjoyed it in the process, but it's been painful because you want everybody to be happy. You want everybody but things just get, they just get tossed to you.
Sure.
And so it's a bittersweet moment for me all the time.
Yeah.
You want it to end and you don't want it to end.
Absolutely.
But no, wait.
Thank you. It's our only light because they turned off this light. Thank you. We're recording right now. Thank you. So that kind of wraps like a lot of pretty much everything you've gone through. That dual. It's a sweet moment. I want it to be done, but I don't want it to be done.
Yeah.
And the challenges and sacrifice. That's
Well, it's actually a marriage. You marry, you bind together with people. You marry them for a relationship that doesn't last very long as the run.
Right.
But it's a marriage of faith and a marriage of believability and truth. And the part of it that I don't like is that I coach wrestling, and in wrestling you have from 98-pound guy to ultimate heavyweight, and everybody has to hold their own, because if when I wrestled, I was the first one to wrestle. I was the 98-pound guy, and I had to win, because if I lost, that could mean the whole match.
Right.
And it sometimes comes to the last match.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so.
And you had to set it off on the right foot.
And
winning.
Yet it's an individual sport, and yet it's a team sport, like acting. Acting is an individual art, yet it's a collective. And the collective is much bigger than the whole. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts in this case. And yet some parts you feel like, wow, some people just don't get it. you know, like holding hands, I would tell you, you know, in a congregation, and you hold hands together, and that gives you the strength. A cast that has a link, what is it? A link?
A broken
Weak
link,
link,
or
yeah, weak link.
Yeah.
Is
It's detrimental.
it's detrimental. And I have to tell you, man, there's very few casts that there hasn't been a weak link. Very few.
Yeah, because they probably have so much strong aspects, and that's why they are cast, but then you don't know what's to come.
Well, here it is. We're people,
Yeah,
and we all have flaws.
right.
Right? And it's interesting that our flaw sometimes is hidden by all of our insecurities, and our ego gets in the way, and disappointments, you know. This play brought me to my knees one day, you know, and it was just, I don't know
And
if I
that's
can.
a good thing.
Yeah, I don't
When
know.
we're just like, okay, Lord,
Yeah,
what do I do
it's-
with this?
No, you know, I don't know if I can recover from this, but there's an old saying, "This too shall pass,"
Right,
right?
right.
But it'll take a while because when you get injured, you kind of go, okay, how long will it take me to heal?
Right.
You know, the scar, and it does heal.
Sure.
It does heal, but if the scar is deep enough, it'll always be there.
Yeah,
You know, it's to remind you. It's almost like,
yeah.
wow, do I have to be reminded of this? You know, but all in all, you have to tusk that away and go on. You know, and you know, this play has had a lot of challenges from the very beginning.
And I think that's when it's so meant to be. I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember when
no.
Paul Rodriguez is the star of the show, and I remember when he was saying, you know, this is going wrong, that's going wrong, and I said, Paul, that's why this is special. Something is meant to happen with this. It will go on, and some forces are trying to come against it. And when you know, when that's happening to us and whatever we're going through, like this situation, that's when I'm reminded of, ooh, that's because we're really meant to do this. Something powerful is going to come of it, and the wrong force is trying to keep us.
Well,
from
you
it.
know, it's very true. I've been very fortunate that my projects have been almost timely. It's almost so weird. It's really weird that, you know, my life has been this set of benchmarks, and you go, how did that happen? Well, it's kismet. Everything, it's almost like the right storm, but it's a storm. You know, it's the right hurricane, but it's a hurricane,
yes.
and it has its detrimental type, you know,
Right.
because the weather of it all. But it is meant to be, and you know,
Yeah.
other people don't have this accidental kismet that I call it, you know.
It's special.
Yeah, it is special, and,
Yeah.
and like you said, I think this was meant to be.
Yeah.
Just think about this play. It's for the time, at the right time,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
Well, we did the original play, you know, about 2 years ago. It was a beginning that I never thought we would do it again. You know, because
Interesting.
you
Yeah, you
project,
don't
no,
think,
no,
right.
yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But look at what's happened to
Yeah.
our society as a whole, you know, everything that's going wrong in our society, and the awareness of diversity, the difference of people, the immigration problems, the wall, talk about walls, nuclear bombs are ready to explode. I mean, on and on and on. It's,
So if people don't know what this play is about, how does this play relate to?
well, it's
occurrences?
people that are invisible. It's like I'm saying, it's not only Latinos, but when we walk through the homeless and we say we avoid them, they become invisible, even though they're present.
Right.
And we as a people, as an Hispanic people, as Latino people, are not in the biggest screen in the world, which is television. So kids don't see us, you know, and role models. They don't see our doctors and our lawyers and our Indians and our chiefs, you know.
Right.
They just see gangbangers and narcotic guys and immigrants coming across the border.
That's not all we are?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that is it. And, you know, if you look at the history of the United States, Mexico was all from the west of the Mississippi. There's Mexicans here from from 1300s, you know, and they were Americanos, Tejanos, you know.
Quiet on set, sorry. Oh.
Excuse me.
Hey, Paul, we're recording.
We're recording a TV show, and Mr. Paul Laudensliger just came in.
Yes, our cast is coming
He's
in.
not projecting voice. He can't
'Cause you
project.
project
That's
so
why I had to
well.
do the microphone. Thank you very much.
And what has been, so you mentioned faith has gotten you through
Yeah.
life in general, probably
All,
not just, not
all
just
of it.
your
I mean,
project,
since
but-
I was born, I was born with